Good morning, Dreamhouse Nation. It's James Lewis of this Dreamhouse, the show that is all about the house. We're excited to have Coach Gary Waters with us today. He's going to tell us about his book, 10 Principles of a Character Coach. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure, James. It's good to be acknowledged.
So, what inspired you to write the book?
Well, I wrote this book a short time ago, meaning when I first went into retirement, and I was literally just in retirement, getting ready to enjoy a new phase of my life. And then all the information came out about college basketball, the scandals, everything that was occurring in it, and I wondered what the problem was. And so at that moment, I said, let me go back and identify what was meant in college basketball, the person that understood it all. And I went as far back as Dr. Naismith. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read what he said.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Naismith believed that if you elect to be a coach, it was also your responsibility to be an advisor, a counselor, and a father figure, and to act at all times as an example to the athletes in your care. He also envisioned that sports should develop character, foster patriotism, and instill ethical values that would serve the participant well in later life. And when I seen that, first I said, man, are we doing these things? And what's going on in the sport today? Are they representing these things? And then at that moment, I decided to write the book.
I know what you mean. Unfortunately, things have changed over the years. It seems like that was the original goals, but as money became a bigger factor in the sport, it sounds like the goals have changed.
You're exactly right. And you use the main focus is money. Once that, look at the NCAA today. I mean, how big this thing is. This thing is almost $1 billion product now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, from ticket sales to TV rights to all the different things, endorsements and sponsorships. It's insane how much money is involved.
And, I would hate to say that when you think of money, and especially large amounts, there's corruption. But things happen in life. You and I both know that.
So what is a character coach?
Well, in my estimation, I actually have a little definition for it, and I think it fits. It says a person that strives to achieve high moral and ethical values in all areas of one's life, okay, without compromise. That's the key factor.
Now, I thought about at one point asking you to name a couple character coaches, but then unfortunately, in doing so, then some of the coaches that won't be named would feel bad, and they'd be like, well, what are you saying? I'm not a character coach. Because I'm sure there are still a lot of really great coaches out there, but there are some bad ones too.
What I can do? I can do this, though. I can name coaches of the past that were great character coaches, if that helps you at all, James.
That would be great, yes.
Oh, yeah, and I have a few names, and these names are very prevalent in the sport even today. The first person I would put in that category would be John Wooden. All the books he's written on character, and his example as a coach really showed that he was a character coach. Another person I knew personally, and I got to know him through Nike and being involved in the Nike program, was Dean Smith. And I would consider him the ultimate character coach. And then I go to say names such as John Thompson. I thought he was a character coach, and so on.
Now, in this book, the steps are clear and easy to follow. Why is that so important?
Well, because I wanted it to be a book where they could, let's take coaches as an example. They're on a plane flight, and they really wanted to know something. Just pull out this book, and it's short, and it's direct, and it gives them information to help them immediately. Or you got a new coach that's in the profession, and he wants to know, what can I do to help my coaches and my players? This is also able to help them there. But we can even go further than that, James. If you're a business leader, if you're a parent, and you want to know something about this, what's happening with your child or how can I run my business, these are ways to help you.
Exactly. So, in other words, this book is not just for coaches, it's for a lot of people about how you can run and be a moral character person in business and in life.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And I wanted it to be that way because, I know sports, we're talking, the metaphor here is basketball and sport. But at the same time, this goes further than that. I mean, it goes into life dreams, life aspirations, all these things.
Young men and women experience a lot of things, good and bad, because of sports. What are some of the issues that they have to deal with today in sports?
Well, let's talk even about what's happening with the pandemic period. I've
hmm
been talking to coaches and ones that are in the tournament right now and one outside the tournament, and they said it really got to be big issues concerning the pandemic. One coach even told me that they had to add a sports psychologist to their program just to help them cope and get through all these things.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say mental health is an important aspect, and that's great
Yes,
that how they're incorporating that into it to assist the students and assist the other coaches. That's phenomenal.
yes, it is, and because I mean, I tell you, so I'm just off the record a little bit. A couple of coaches talked about being in the bubble. They said it's the most difficult thing. It's like being in prison. And if you can't cope with it, it turns out to be a lot of issues for you and your team.
Definitely. Yeah, I was going to say, with it being so different this year, speaking of that, what are your thoughts on this year's tournament?
Well, I think, I knew it would be difficult to complete, but they look like they're going to get it completed. And, won't be many teams that are truly hurt. But, you're hurt throughout the year, if you get what I'm saying. You'll have some downtime. You may not play 3 or 4 weeks before and now you got to get yourself back prepared again. But I love the competition level. And I think that's why you have so many of the so-called underdogs coming through, because they're able to cope with this environment better than others.
Definitely. As a coach, you've dealt with that in the past as being, was it a Horizon League?
Yes, I was in the Horizon League at Cleveland State.
Excellent. So, being in the Horizon League, you were considered an underdog, but your team definitely did achieve a lot of great things.
Oh yes, and it was a great time, and again, what made it so successful for me is to see character-driven players or young men do this. They didn't cut corners; they did it the right way, and they still had success.
Definitely. And yeah, at that time we were rooting for you. I'm not going to lie to you because my alma mater is in a Horizon League school. Nowadays, I do root against Cleveland a little bit, at least when we're playing NKU, because we're just so excited that NKU is now Division One, and gosh, that Horizon League has got some really great teams in it.
Oh yes, and NKU, your president was with me at Cleveland State, and he was the dean of the law school at the time, so I got to know him extremely well and his family.
Nice. So yeah, shoot. Sounds like this tournament has been a really interesting and a very exciting tournament. Obviously, the book is a really an interesting book. It's really going to be helpful to a lot of people, not just coaches, but can really help with basically anybody that mentors young people. Where's the best place to get the book?
You can get it on Amazon and at Barnes and Nobles. They're there and they're ready to come off the shelf.
Excellent. And then, Coach, shoot, if other, they want other wisdom from you, where on social media, where on the web, where can they follow you at?
Oh yes, my website is coachwatersat.com, www.coachwatersat.com, and it talks about the book there. And another place they can really find out a great deal of information is on my Facebook, and it's called Character Coach with Gary Waters. And I not every day, but often post on there things about character.
Nice. Well, Coach, we've enjoyed having you on the show today.
Oh, James, it's been a pleasure for me, and you got a great show, and I'm just excited to be on.
Thank you, sir.